Be sure to like and subscribe if you want. If you don't want, I don't really care. Thank you. Yes, I'm new to Magic. I'm looking for a fucking easy commander to play. Have a couple keywords I'm looking for playing this deck. Keywords like brain dead, easy shit, salty scoop, and autopilot. And I'm looking for people to say what the fuck at least 7 times while playing against the deck. Just send location to where to find deck like this that I'm looking for. Dear Islam, Mohammed, Makulchev, Nurmagomedov, I have the perfect deck for you. LANDFALL. Omnath, Locus of Creation. 4 mana, no blacky, 4/4, enters the battlefield, draw a card. That's a good start. LANDFALL. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. How nice. If it's the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, add a red, a green, a white, and a blue. If it's the third time, Omnath deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Banned in Standard, Brawl, Historic, but not Commander, no. I like my LANDFALL decks how I like my sex. Painful, so let the pain begin.
It might be dangerous.
Okay, so first off, Omnath, look at all these amazing triggers. The goal of the deck is to hit all 3 abilities each freaking turn. Usually the second ability starts off the party and allows you to get the third trigger going, which is a win con by itself, but we absolutely don't need Omnath to win. I mean, bro, this is a LANDFALL deck. Come on, dude. We actually don't need nothing to win. We just win. Ironically, the first ramp card we play does not put a land into play. This is awkward. Lotus Snake. 2 mana, 2/1, LANDFALL. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. The single best 2-drop in all of Mother Russia, so no matter if no LANDFALL trigger, it's still amazing. Next up are creature ramp cards, Spring Bloom Druid and Wood Elves. Yes, enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. And good old Wood Elf, search your library for a forest, put it into play, shuffle your library. Hey, don't mind me, just making sure I have all my colors on turn 4 so I can start the salty show known as Omnath. Next up are spell ramps. Oh my baby Jesus wearing a G-string. 3 visits and Farseek. Who would have known? Search your library for a forest card, put that card into the battlefield and shuffle your library, or search your library for a plain, island, swamp, or mountain card and put it onto the battlefield, tap, shuffle your library. Now the next few cards are a bit expensive but necessary, so if you're on a budget, just go somewhere else. Just leave, stop the video, go somewhere far from here and never come back. Or go watch some of my budget decks. Exploration. 1 mana enchantment, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. You know what they say, mono red will burn, green will extra land per turn. Who said that? Play them all, they're the backbone of this deck. There's a lot of shenanigans you can pull off with extra land drops, so it's time to invest, my friends. Extra land drops, get ya extra land drops right here. Oracle of Muldaya, give me an extra land drop. Ugly Bird Dino thing, more land drops. Azami, Azorius, Azusa, whatever, who gives a Kozilek, give me 2 extra land drops. Minatori and Denari. 4 mana, 4/4, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Wow, how nice. But pay 2, return a land you control to its owner's hand, target creature gain trample until end of turn. This one is pretty gnarly. You can bounce back lands and then replay them with all your extra land drops. Shenanigans.
Gotcha, bitch!
Or if you're from Quebec, Shawinigan. Hey, you know what they say, sometimes you might not have the lands in your hands. Rest in peace, Kanye. So we play Ramunap and Crucible. Gotta hit those land drops. You may play land cards from your graveyard. How good is this? And sometimes we might not even have lands to play, but you know what? We can still hit our land drops with Ashaya. 5 mana. Star, is that how you say it? Ashaya's Soul of the Wild's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. So all your creatures trigger landfall abilities, and of course they trigger Omnath. Now that's a serious case of what the fuck, or as I like to call it, green. Okay, so now that the lands have fallen, now what? Landfall. Get it? The single, well, 2 most important cards of the deck. The MVPs, the MTVs, the CTVs, all the 3-letter abbreviations.
Yes! Yes!
Tatiova, and Icy, gay or straight. Guy or straight? Okay. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Or whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card, and you may play an additional land on each of your turns as well. So you can imagine why these little schnitzel are so important. Landfall, draw a card.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
Pretty dumb with all the fetch lands we're playing. And with all the extra lands per turn we're playing, we keep on rolling. Imagine with cards like Azusa or Ancient Green Warden. 6 mana, 5/7, reach, you may play lands from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So yeah, you draw 2 cards with Tatiova and Icy. These engines are la creme de la creme when it comes to playing with yourself. And I really love playing with myself. Besides drawing, most of our landfall creatures will mostly be making tokens. Good old Scoot, better deal with me before I take over the game, Swarm. Let's make beautiful insects. Whenever a land enters this battlefield under your control, you create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm instead. Emeria Angel, 4 mana, 3/3 flying, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Let's make ugly birds too. Nesting Dragon, 5 mana, 5/4 flying, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 0/2 red dragon egg creature token with defender. And when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying and fire breath. So yeah, let's make eggs that turn into dragons. The other Omnath, a lot of mana, 5/5, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token. Whenever Omnath, Locus of Rage, or another elemental you control dies, Omnath deals 3 damage to any target. Let's make some fat, juicy elementals! And a personal favorite of mine, Felidar Repeat. 4 mana, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1, create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, meow, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. A great card. You don't have enough tokens? Let's make some stupid cats. Got enough tokens? Let's pump the squad. You decide. Stupid card alert, stupid card alert, stupid card alert. What is it? Is it another green card? No, it's white. Qatar's Crusade. 5 mana. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So yeah, with Qatar's Crusade and any other token maker, things get kinda messy. Landfall, make a token. When that token comes into play, put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures. With all the amount of lands we play each turn, I can't even right now. I did include these 2 retreats even though Omnath players never retreat. Retreat to Coral Helm. 3 mana enchantment, landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You may tap or untap target creature or scry 1. And retreat to Kazando. 3 mana, landfall. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or you gain 2 life. Mainly here for the scry and the stupid life gain that stacks well with Omnath. Next up, the sweet, sweet, tasty Knight of the Reliquary. 3 mana, 2/2, Knight of the Reliquary gets +1/+1 for each land card in your graveyard. Tap, sacrifice a forest or plain, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Really good by itself, but pretty dumb with Retreat to Coral Helm. You see, sacrifice a forest or plain, search your library for any land card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And Retreat to Coral Helm, well, landfall, you may tap or untap target creatures. So yeah, you can do this as long as you have any forest or plains. But we do play Dryad of the Elysian Groovy. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So you can pretty much empty your deck of all its lands and slam them on the field, getting about 30 landfall triggers. I hate infinite combos in Commander, but I guess it's not really infinite, just mega salty, I guess. Now for the best part, the Badaboom cards. No, not necessarily win cons, just the fat, the juicy, the big baloney cards.
You're in big trouble though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Mordor, Fury of Akum. 6 mana, 6/6. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it has attacked this turn. A landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. Huh? At the beginning of combat, untap all creatures you control. Huh? You can imagine how many extra combat steps you can pull off with this guy. It's anywhere between, I'd say, 3 and making your opponent scoop. And of course, whenever we have a lot of tokens, Perforos is usually here to fuck everything up. 4 mana, 6/5, indestructible. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforos deals 2 damage to each opponent. And for once, with all the mana we have, his second ability is kinda relevant. Pay 3, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Next up, Avenger of Zendikar, Avenger of Zendikar, Avenger Assemble! You usually want to play this dude right after you play Perforos. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, well, hello. Escape, bitch. One of my favorite cards. 4 mana, sacrifice any number of lands. Search your library for up to that many lands cards. Lands cards? Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. I mean, one of my favorite cards of all time. Pretty, with any landfall creatures. Yeah, it's pretty, Once you sack your lands, just bring them back with good old Splendid Reclamation. 4 mana, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, tap. Like seriously, nothing turns me on more than a good old scape shift into Splendid Reclamation. It's like watching green paint its masterpiece. And to finish off, Reshape the Earth. 9 mana, doesn't make a dance. Search your library for up to 10 land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. You can't get any more bada bing. Bada boom than that. Bonus round. Y'all know I like ETBs, huh? Y'all know I like ETBs, right? When Omnath, Locus of Creation, enters the battlefield, you draw a card. So why not play Thassa, Deep Dwelling? At the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. And if we play Thassa, why not play the new Cultivator Colossus? Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Whenever Cultivator Colossus enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tap. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. And since we're playing Thassa, might as well play Yasharn, 4 mana, 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card and the basic plant cards. Reveal those cards, put them onto your hand, then shuffle your library. And if we're playing Thassa, might as well play Titania, 5 mana, 5/3. Enters the battlefield, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever a land you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental creature token. That's all for today, folks. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and do not forget, we're here for a silly goose time, and that is it. Goodbye.